great thing about Australia is that we're a happy multicultural society, but we've got to be truly multicultural. Truly multicultural. And that means honouring the arts of all those countries.
Since the White Australia policy was abolished in the mid-1970s, Australia has become a popular destination for migrants from Asia. Tens of thousands of them have come and settled down here, especially in big cities like Sydney. They've brought their music, dances and religion down south to this vast continent. During the annual Multicultural Community Arts Festival Carnivale in Sydney, Asian cultures are now beginning to make an impact.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Viet Food Festival.
Xin kính chào quý vị. Xin chào mừng quý vị đón tiếp quý vị đến dự ngày hội thức ăn Việt Nam hôm nay.
Now tonight, of course, you will taste wonderful Vietnamese food and may already have done so, but you will also listen to Vietnamese lullabies and folk songs, and you will hear and listen to and watch Vietnamese dancing, folk songs, traditional folk songs and dancing.
Vietnamese were among the first wave of Asian migrants here, since Australia decided to give refuge to those fleeing Vietnam at the end of the war. They are now a well-established ethnic community.
The Viet Food Village is the combination of the Vietnamese authentic food and the performance, the contemporary and the traditional performance. We planned it around only 400 people to come, but last year about 4,000 people turned out. All the response is when we went beyond our imagination.
Always healthy, always happy.
Nơi xa bể cười răng sóng.
But sometimes, when we come to Australia, we have to compromise our food. My ambition try to introduce Vietnamese foods in an authentic way, and try to introduce, the Vietnamese culture to a wider audience.
Look, what would you do, okay, if you really like someone and you really wanted to be with them, but you couldn't because our parents wouldn't let you?
Oh, I don't know. Mom and Dad let me do everything.
Typical.
Oh, typical girl. Look, if I were a girl in our family, I would listen to our parents. Even though I'm a boy, I still listen to them a lot.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, really.
I listen to them, but just I don't shoulder listen to them.
Why do you listen to them then?
Because they are parents, and they brought us here with nothing but
Hai
hai
bàn tay
trắng.
trắng. Yeah, Jonathan, what country are you living in?
Are you kidding?
You answer me or rip your testicles out.
So what you learn from your boyfriend?
Hey, you leave him out of this.
What? He's butting his nose to our business.
I don't understand anything.
They're older. They have more experience than us.
Yeah, back in Vietnam maybe, but not here.
Today, the early Asian migrant communities are in a crossover stage, with their children having grown up in Australia. This is creating a lot of social and cultural tensions within families. A growing number of community theatre groups are beginning to address this issue.
And they don't talk anyone.
Do you want the sweet back?
No, I'm okay, thanks. Hey, what time is it?
No, we're making good time.
Shit.
I find that the roles that we do get are quite stereotypes, like the Asian girlfriend or, all the cute sort of Asian girl. The story has been told before, but it hasn't been told through the eyes of a young Vietnamese girl growing up in Australian society.
Đi lên non cao, đi về biển rộng. Đôi tay nhân gian chưa từng đổ lửa.
The first generation, they also I can't explain. They still in Vietnamese culture, and the second generation, some people is a half Vietnamese culture, and some people is a half the Australian culture. But some people, I think most people, the young people, they think they are Australian, not the Vietnamese, and but the parent always keep them in the like the Vietnamese family.
The same issue is faced by the Indian community here, and they have started addressing it in local community theatre as well.
Look at those goras over there. The whole day they are doing mouth to mouth. Have they no sharam?
Gora kids these days are such a bad example to our children. You would never see our good Indian kids doing such behavior in public. Never.
Oh, but look at those two. They are not goras. They look Indian.
They can't be Indian. They must be Indonesian.
Yes. Maybe they are Filipino.
Maybe Lebanese. Can't be Indian.
Oh, no. They are Indian. Look at the jhumkas she is wearing.
Hey, Bhagwan, you are right. Ek minute. Isn't that Shweta Singh's daughter? Look.
None of them have really ever performed before. I think only one girl has done anything seriously. So in that sense, they're completely unprofessional actors. And I guess that's sort of what this process is about as well. It's sort of basically giving people the opportunity to say, you can do this, and it comes from within yourself. You don't have to be trained necessarily, through NIDA or something like that. It's about giving the capacity for every single person to tell their own story.
Just going crazy, sipping herbal teas, looking for remedies and therapy.
Every year around August, on the day of Rakhi, my mum will wake up really early in the morning, like about 5 a.m. to prepare for the occasion. She'll make all sorts of Indian sweets, such as laddus, coconut barfis, and carrot barfis, which is really her own twisted version.
This dancing duo were born in Asia. They too are trying to make a statement.
I am coming from only 10 years living in Australia, so I'm totally, my language obviously more Japanese is easier, read and speaks. So everything is kind of more imprinted in my body, and Tony is the same. So we try to be like ancestral. Sometimes in the mainstream we often say as in a joke, like we used as in a cliche way, like Asian. Tony was asked like a dragon dance, Chinese dance, and I asked as a Japanese geisha way and things like that. That's a bit of extreme example, but sometimes used as in a bit cliche way in the mainstream. That's why we try to be in this kind of experimental piece, try to be break that cliche.
It started off as actually make a bit of a statement to the Australian culture and say, hey, look, we Asian Australians have a contemporary life too. We don't need to be cliched.
We're trying to say that, like, we're in a different country, like in Australia, and we're looked at in different ways because of, I guess, our physical appearance. But we do have a culture behind it, and our culture changes as we're here. But we're still basically Indian, and we're still a group, yet we're still Australian as well. So we're not defined into one group or one category.